Alright, hey guys, 224Big, and it's time to let's watch another death battle. And this time it's going to be Hulk versus Doomsday. Oh boy. I never think Screw Attack would ever do this, to be honest. And prior to this, just as a side note, and I will not talk about this any further than when I get to the video, I'm recording this after post-election, and no, after this I will not talk about anything else about the election. If I feel like it, I will make a video about it later on this week and how I feel about it. So yes, just to point that out, even though most people won't care. Yeah, people will probably know us, but yeah, just to point that part out. And after that note, I'm going to continue on. So, Hulk versus Doomsday. So, prior to this, I actually saw the video about this, about Hulk versus Doomsday by Comics Explained. So, a general idea I'm thinking is, because he said if it would basically, the whole thing would probably be a tie, but basically most likely Hulk could probably win if he was at his strongest, like, was World Breaker Hulk. But I'm not sure yet. And plus, Doomsday, from what I heard from Comics Explained too, if he dies, he'll just come back. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know exactly how much of a period of time it will take Doomsday to come back, though. So that's another thing I won't know about. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out. But again, this is Screw Attack. Who could probably do anything? Because people say they're biased and not biased. The research you do is not 100% fully. But yeah, this one I am kind of like about. So yeah, without any further ado, let me shut up and let's move on to the video, shall we? In 3, 2, 1. And now.
Before we get into the episode, I have something very important to tell you.
What is that?
A new game, Super Rad Ray Gun, just launched on Steam for PC, Mac, and Linux. With over 20 unique levels, 3 modes of play, and tongue-in-cheek story of 1980s politics, it's a whole lot of value for just $9.99.
Alright.
Pick it up by November 15th, and we'll even give you the soundtrack featuring music from Phantom NK and Bubble Pipe Media for free. Click the link in the description after the video and get your copy today.
Boomstick.
Pure, unadulterated rage. Usually in a stressful situation.
Is that Boogie? Oh, it's Boogie 298.
Emotion in order to keep yourself focused.
Yep.
Unless you're a giant rampaging pile of muscles, like these two.
Dr. Bruce Banner, the Incredible Hulk.
And Doomsday, the monster who killed Superman.
That's all he's basically known for.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out
mainly known for just to kill
a death battle.
I knew it was going to be 3D.
Within each of us,
awesome.
Oft-times, there dwells a mighty and raging fury. And this suits no one better than the mild-mannered scientist, Bruce Banner.
Cause when Bruce gets angry, oh boy, you wouldn't like him when he's angry.
Dr. Robert Bruce Banner may have grown up with few friends, but what he lacked in popularity, he made up tenfold with his intellect. However, in spite of his gifts, it was never enough to earn the respect and love of his father.
I heard about that
backstory.
backstory.
Because Bruce was so smart that his alcoholic dad literally thought he was a monster and expressed that to Bruce pretty thoroughly. God damn! How much distance do you think you got there, Wiz?
9, 10 feet?
Man, with an arm like that, he could really go places. Like the nut house after he murdered his wife right in front of Bruce. Aww.
Understandably traumatized, Bruce coped by creating an imaginary friend to talk to.
I didn't know about that
I
part.
had an imaginary friend once.
You did?
I didn't
What
know
was his name?
His dad.
Dad.
Shit.
Oh. Well, Bruce's friend served as an emotional outlet
If
all
only-
the way through his college graduation.
If only there was a what-if
However,
story
his
if he traveled
advice
back
to
in
Bruce
time.
was oftentimes destructive.
So when the
I would-
U.S. military
I
recruited
would
Bruce
imagine
to
that.
make weapons, it was actually kind of fitting.
Bruce was
Yeah.
tasked with developing a gamma bomb, which would use gamma radiation to target enemy weapons and buildings without endangering human lives. At least, that's what Bruce was told.
Surprise, surprise! Gamma radiation is actually pretty fucking harmful! And when it came time to test the bomb and some dumb kid decided to play his harmonica right in the test zone, Bruce asked his assistant to stop the countdown and dashed off to save him. But turns out his assistant was a Russian spy who set off the bomb anyway.
On that strange day, Bruce's imaginary friend became a real-life terror as he transformed into the Incredible Hulk.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Apparently. Ever since, whenever he's angry, Bruce's body and mind morphs into that of the Hulk's, granting him unmeasurable power.
While he loses Bruce's brain power, the Hulk is ridiculously strong. He can leap great distances, survive the harshest environments, and most importantly, smash the crap out of everything with his bare fist.
He also knows a technique known as the thunderclap, which creates a shockwave that can deafen foes, level forests, and push back explosions.
As if he needed anything more than that, the Hulk has a healing factor that gives Wolverines a run for his money.
You're healing. You should be dead.
He's super strong and super hard to kill. What's not to like?
Well, there's one little detail that kind of ruins the whole experience. Bruce can't really control the Hulk. In fact,
he can't.
The Hulk is his own being, and they both hate each other, vying for dominance over Bruce's body. And yet, Bruce and the Hulk are often reminded how much they depend on each other for survival.
Bruce figured if he was stuck with his big green Goliath forever, he might as well try using it for good, eventually joining the Avengers, the Defenders, the Fantastic Four, and even the
Illuminati. That new one.
Hulk has held up a 150 billion-ton mountain, escaped Earth's gravitational pull with a single jump.
And one time when a planet's tectonic plates started splitting apart, threatening to shatter the whole world, he just jumped right in there and pulled the planet back together.
The estimated average mass of a single lithospheric plate is
was this the Planet Hulk storyline?
Tons, and the Hulk pulled 2 of these together with nothing but his bare hands.
And he's not just strong and tough, he's more than twice as fast as a fighter jet, which puts him over Mach 5 speeds at least, and he can always go faster if he's pissed off enough.
This is because
I've seen that.
Strength
I heard about
World
War Hulk, so that's why I know.
The angrier he gets, the more powerful he becomes.
Yeah, the more stronger he gets.
Maximum level of strength is potentially infinite. And when he taps into that immeasurable range,
well, you mentioned something about World War Hulk.
Up to his name World Breaker.
Yeah, World Breaker Hulk. Thank you. At least you mentioned that.
Radiation, the World Breaker Hulk is so powerful. With a single stomp, he created earthquakes felt hundreds of miles away. In his battle with Sentry,
Eastern Seaboard,
Superman, they almost destroyed New York. And when battling another World Breaker Hulk, a single collision between them obliterated an entire planet.
Even the mutant power, which specifically adapts to counter any enemy, decided that the best defense against the Hulk was to be somewhere else.
Holy hell! Who could even stand up to this madness?
Not many, obviously. Typically, Bruce does his best to contain and limit the Hulk's power. In fact, World Breaker Hulk is a result of Bruce relinquishing that control entirely. In terms of combat, usually only cosmic beings like Silver Surfer or Zeus have the might to challenge the Hulk.
Oh yeah.
Seriously?
Like that one time Zeus hit him so hard, it burned out his healing factor.
But even gods sometimes have to learn the hard way. You do not mess with the Incredible Hulk.
Are they gonna end it with this?
Shall creature.
Shit.
I will not be bullied by that.
Of course. I love that scene in Avengers so much. Alright, let's get on to Doomsday.
What if all you had ever known
other than he
was
killed
hatred
Superman?
and aggression, violence and pain? This life is reality for
YouTube comments, Doomsday.
Yeah.
The Doomsday guy.
Thousands of years ago, on an uninhabitable prehistoric planet which would one day be known as Krypton, a scientist named Bertrand intended to engineer the ultimate life form.
Yep, it's another one of those stories, but with one hell of a twist.
See, at this time, Krypton was a harsh wasteland filled with nothing but sharp rocks, poisonous air, and violent predators.
What?
Bertrand believed that if he could create something that could live through that, they could survive just about anywhere.
To realize this theory, Bertrand acquired an infant from somewhere, and through a rapidly accelerated evolution process, attempted to transform him into his dream creation.
Oh, don't try to dance around it, Wiz. Bertrand put that little sucker into a baby cannon, blasted him into the wild to get murdered by any number of things, sucked up what was left of him with a vacuum cleaner, and just cloned a new one out of the mess to do it all over again.
That's fucked up!
Yeah, the idea being each new clone would be stronger than the one before, thus covering millions of years of evolution
is so fucked
in just
up.
a few decades.
That doesn't sound like science.
No, it doesn't. So after 30 straight years of baby
that man is fucked up.
One of the clones finally survived the test. Amazed by his own success, Bertrand named this baby the Ultimate.
The ultimate baby.
But to the rest of the universe, he was their Doomsday.
Doomsday.
See, Wiz, reloading as it is, patenting my baby cannon was a good idea.
Successful as
Damn.
Bertrand's experiment was, it was anything but a good idea. Turns out, while Doomsday usually appears to be a mindless beast, he remembered every single time Bertrand had him killed. As a result, Doomsday had been unintentionally programmed at a genetic level to hate everything that lives.
Bummer. Needless to say, Bertrand was pretty screwed.
Because even with 30 years of development, Bertrand had never quite figured out what to do if his experiment actually worked. Because Bertrand is the worst.
I mean,
He is the worst.
He did do what he set out to do. He made an 8'10" monster that doesn't need to eat, breathe, or have internal organs to live. It just kills and kills and kills some more.
Doomsday possesses enormous strength, incredible durability, and poisonous spikes which can extend. But due to Bertrand's experiments, Doomsday's greatest power of all is his ability to adapt to his opponent's powers.
After taking his sweet revenge, Doomsday stowed away on a supply ship and ravaged dozens of planets until he finally found himself on Earth.
On that day, Doomsday did the unthinkable.
Killed
On
Superman.
that day, Doomsday killed Superman. Well, kind of. He actually put him into a super sleep. After several days, he kind of woke up more powerful.
Yeah, we all know Wiz. At least Stoops took
Basically,
Doomsday
he
with
did
him.
not kill Superman.
Or maybe not. Turns out, whenever Doomsday dies, he just comes back to life, forever immune to whatever killed him in the first place.
Can't beat me the same way twice.
He's been punched to death by Superman, blasted apart by the Radiant's energy, brutally ripped in half, incinerated by Imperiex, and just curb stomped by a Kryptonian horde.
Practically invulnerable at this point, Doomsday's taken on Darkseid, tanking his Omega beams and beating him to near death. He single-handedly defeated most of the Justice League and took on an energy attack that wiped out a fifth of a planet.
He's punched through the Phantom Zone, battled super beings called Gogs for a century, and even broken Wonder Woman's arms. Arms strong enough to help pull the Earth.
And during his rematch with the Man of Steel, after witnessing Doomsday survive an explosion equivalent to 1 million nukes, Superman realized that the only way to stop him was to send him to the end of time.
At his most powerful, Doomsday's mere presence can boil the ocean and disintegrate buildings. A casual stroll across Africa made wildebeest an endangered species just by walking around. But what he's got in strength, he really lacks in brains.
Not that he's dumb, he just
I think about it.
literally lacks a brain. More often than not,
He's basically
a
stupid.
little more than a one-track mind-killing machine. This makes his intentions predictable, and a clever opponent could use this to, say, lead him into a trap. And should that foe come up with a new way to hurt Doomsday, he could be killed.
Still, that's gonna be pretty goddamn hard to do.
Yeah. Man.
Alright, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
I don't know what to say about this
Wiz
one.
won't stop talking about this thing, so he wants to tell you about it.
Gosh, for fuck's sake.
As a man of science,
Okay,
I analyze
while they're doing this, I'm gonna say my thoughts about this for the prediction.
I only use
So,
a razor I've scientifically proven
I'm still gonna go by what
and
Rob's from
value.
Comics explain about when
Thanks
he
to
did
their
Hulk
factory
vs.
in
Doomsday.
Germany, Harry's produces
So,
quality
it's
razors
basically
at
be an
half
infinite
the
loop,
price.
kind of,
$2 a
from
blade.
what he said.
Harry's
Because
sleek
he said it would basically be a
razor
draw,
offers a
considering
soft flex hinge,
the more frustrated Hulk
blade,
gets, the stronger he gets, with
textured
Warbreaker
handle for
Hulk, bam, it
control,
could be...
and a lubricating strip to
You
help
could easily
keep
kill him
the
with
skin.
Doomsday. But after
if you
hearing
like
about some of the
me, you
stuff
wanna try it for
here,
yourself. Harry's is
I don't know
so confident in
how
the razor,
if
they'll
he's
send you a
surviving
cross
that from
at
Hulk.
absolutely
But
free when
same
you
thing was
subscribe.
Doomsday
Just pay
though.
$3 for shipping.
And,
in Fear of Death Battle, you can get a free bottle of post-shave balm, which soothes and relieves.
I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do this. I think
Enter the code Death Battle.
I want Hulk to win because that's most likely what I think could happen. But I don't know. It could be a draw, like Rob's from Comics Explained said.
Death Battle at checkout.
So I'm just not too sure. But from waiting outcome is Doomsday win, from what I've heard. But I want Hulk to win. Why does everyone want different color? Oh, Doomsday. Oh, God! god. Here's the Hulk.
Hulk smash ugly vehicles!
Wait, he said ugly what? Ugly. Oh shit. Everyone's getting killed in the. What is that man just sit there? Crash. Capsule. Why did I see that coming? I was on the bus. Did he? Oh no. He's just cars. Doing it.
Stupid gray man! God can't hurt them! Hulk hate you!
Hulk hates everyone.
Hulk hates spiky beard!
Oh. Is he adapted to it? Oh god.
Break buildings good, but Hulk break walls!
Oh, are they seriously doing World Breaker Hulk? Oh. Oh shit! A big deal out of that. Maybe I was just a bit surprised. Oh my! What the fuck?
Oh, that was beautiful!
With the Hulk's immeasurable power and Doomsday's impossible immortality, this truly felt like a fight between an unstoppable force and an immovable object.
Hulk may have had the advantage in raw strength, at least at his full potential, but Doomsday could certainly hold his ground. His victories against the likes of Superman and Darkseid prove he can take a hit from someone strong enough to break planets.
And by experience, Doomsday had the speed advantage. He regularly fights foes with light speed capabilities, while that kind of speed is an extreme rarity in the Marvel Universe. In fact, the only foe that fast who Hulk's ever seemed to keep pace with in a one-on-one match was Sentry, and that was when he was at his most powerful stage, Worldbreaker Hulk.
So overall,
And that wasn't
strength and Doomsday
Worldbreaker
had
Hulk?
speed, but neither completely outclassed the other. At first glance, this one looked like it could go either way.
Which means the devil's in the very tiny details.
So why couldn't the Hulk's infinite strength just keep rising and eventually overwhelm Doomsday?
Well, even assuming Hulk's strength was infinite, his healing factor was not. Don't get me wrong,
wasn't.
it can only be overtaxed by hits from absurdly powerful beings such as Zeus or Sentry, whom Doomsday certainly compares.
Naturally, Doomsday's crazy strength and speed started wearing that healing factor down.
Here's where it gets a bit tricky. The Hulk may look like a giant green monster, but he's still technically human, and his power directly correlates with his anger. A human being's anger stems from an increase in hormones and adrenaline in the body. However, the brain can only produce these chemicals at such a rate for a limited time, eventually giving up and turning apathetic. Therefore, Hulk's limitless power could never have existed without his healing factor. It's the key. It allowed his body to continue producing hormones and adrenaline far beyond the norm, theoretically,
he would have been faster though.
Thus increasing his superhuman power to an immeasurable degree. So Doomsday overtaxing his healing factor meant the Hulk could no longer maintain his increasing rage and Hulk form.
And if you're still skeptical, that's why there's a bunch of times in comics when a huge impact forced the Hulk to turn back into Bruce Banner.
But nothing that
battle
huge
between Worldbreaker Hulk and Sentry. With his healing power beaten down, he literally couldn't keep himself angry enough to stay in Hulk mode.
I love science, but there's still one more thing. Thanks to his battles with Superman and other Kryptonians, Doomsday has evolved to a point where it's basically impossible to kill him with brute force alone.
So Hulk couldn't have killed him by just getting angry enough to punch harder than Doomsday ever felt.
Precisely. Here's the proof. Superman and Doomsday eventually had a rematch, in which Superman was much more powerful than their first battle. As we discussed before, Superman's power is also potentially limitless by way of continually absorbing solar energy, and at this point in his story, he'd begun to discover that.
But try as he might, despite his increased power, Supes couldn't kill Doomsday with blunt force a second time.
Ultimately, Doomsday's immunity to being ripped, impaled, incinerated, blasted with energy, and being beaten by blunt force from both focused and multiple sources means Hulk just didn't have the options available to take Doomsday out before his healing factor was overtaxed.
On this day, Hulk met his doom. Doomsday.
The winner is Doomsday.
Wow.
Next time on Death Battle.
Next time, Zorro from One Piece.
Hey guys, I'm Ben, I play Wiz, this is Chatty Plays Boomstick, and next up we've got Zorro from One Piece. Stick to our Twitter to find out who he's going to be fighting.
Want to watch Death Battle on your big screen? First members can now download the Xbox One and Apple TV apps. It's great, but super important. We just launched a brand new video game. It's Super Rad Ray Gun. Link in the description. Click it. Check it out.
Alright. I don't know how to feel about this exactly. Cause this is where people, most of my friends believe Screwtack is biased towards one thing, and I agree with him to some measure, but I feel like there are some times where Screwtack is accurate. For this one, I am just not too sure, to be honest. Do I think Doomsday should have won that easily? No. Do I think Hulk should have won that quickly? No. From the research I've seen by Comics Explained, because Comics Explained, I trust him as a source, because he delves into the research of what he can for everything from the history of comics, basically. That's why I trust him as a source. Screwtack, I can semi-trust him, because to a measure of degree, what they say is true, but we're not 100% sure about that, because there have times where I've argued they have been biased in the past, but that's mainly been based towards anime characters. And the same can be argued for Street Fighter characters, because the only Street Fighter character that actually won a fight in Death Battle is Akuma, from what I've seen. I think there is a second Street Fighter character that did win as well. But yeah, to be honest, I honestly thought it should have been a draw. Because, it's just like he mentioned in Comics Explained. I'll leave the video where he goes over Doomsday versus Hulk down in the description below for those of you who haven't seen the video, because, like I said before, I trust the guy because he's not biased towards anything. Because if he says someone will win, it's because it's a fact, and he goes by the research of everything. He knows basically everything to comics, almost everything to comics, but he definitely knows more towards Screwtack. And plus, Screwtack's research team, I'm just not too sure was a lot. That's what I think at this point. I'll give it that the battle was entertaining. I'll give it that much. It's just that I think most of the results throughout some of the death battles are bullshit. Like was my friend said the one was Cammy versus Sonya was bullshit because he thought Cammy should have won that, and for some measure after the research they've done, I feel she would have won too. But another thing that comes into play, so like when they did the fight, I feel like there were some things that they did leave out because when he goes World Breaker Hulk and the more angrier he gets the stronger he gets, of course. Isn't there some measure degree he will get faster? That's what I'm saying. But other than that, he only broke Doomsday's arm, but after healing it, I didn't know about that part. And I forgot he healed. Or did he mention it at all? I don't remember they actually mentioned that in the video. And when they dwelled into Doomsday. And that his arm was immune to... After that, it grew back and it was immune to Hulk's attacks. That's what I think, but... Honestly, I honestly think it should have been a different outcome. I'm not saying this just as a Marvel fan, because get me wrong, I do love Marvel, even though I'm a huge Marvel fanboy. Don't get me wrong that I do believe to somewhat what measure it should have been a tie. Because I just dwell by what others could say that dwell into more research in this. Oh yeah, other than that, I can't really think of anything else to say other than I believe it should have been a draw or Hulk should have won. Because even Rob said in his video that the most likely thing to happen, Hulk would win, but Doomsday would come back. That would mainly happen. That's why I'm gonna leave the video down in the description below when I upload this. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think it should have been draw, or do you think Doomsday who actually should have won, or Hulk should have won? Let me know what you guys think. I honestly think it should have been a draw, or Hulk was the most likely to win. If they were doing World Breaker Hulk, for fuck's sake, they really narrowed him down to that. Like World War Hulk, a World Breaker Hulk is stronger than World War Hulk, and that's been shown that in the comics and in the story. I'm just gonna say that much. It just blew me how they just did Hulk like that though. I'm not saying as a whine as a bitch, but it's just the way from when I heard the story and I've dwelled in the story from comic story and comic explained. I'm just saying. I could be wrong because I don't know much about Doomsday from what they explained in this video, but I honestly think that should have not been the case. But that's my opinion. I'm not sure. I dwell by the facts from everything else, but sometimes I can't trust Screw Attack 100%. So just saying that. But like I said before, let me know what you guys think about this. Just leave a comment down below about what you think. Of course, like and subscribe to see me keep doing these stuff because I am surprisingly getting better at what I think about these videos. So yeah. But until my next video, 224 Big is out.